Hey y'all, good day. So I'm probably not gonna wait on a lot of people to come in, but I wanted to go ahead and talk about this topic while it was on my brain. Did my meditation. Y'all know once I come out of my meditation, it's like on and popping from there. My mind just be going all, all over the place. But I wanted to talk to y'all about what type of parents we are, And I'm saying that because like everything that I'm seeing that's going on in the world and just a lot of different things like, and the reason why I put commitment and attachment is because that's kind of what it's surrounding around, you know what I mean? And so like I read this book. It's called Let's Talk to Our Kids, all right? And it pretty much talks about, how to communicate with your kids, And, hey, Ruth. And so, yeah, it's talking to you about how to communicate with your kids. And as parents, that's what we need to do. We need to communicate with our kids. We need to forget about those things that we were taught by our parents. Some you can keep and some of that stuff you can throw away because it's not effective in these times, okay? And so one thing that this book talked about, it was a particular story inside this book that resonated with me. And I'm gonna figure out how y'all can get this book. It might be on Amazon and stuff. I don't know. I actually walked into the office like years ago and got this book, and I'm just now reading it. But that's the thing too. I wasn't ready to receive what was in this book at that point in my life, but I'm ready to receive this information now. Hey, Britt Brat. Yeah, so one particular scenario in this book that she expressed was when the child is doing something and the parent doesn't agree with what the child is doing and the child wants to know why they can't do that particular thing, right? And the response of the parent in this book said, because I said so, right? Right? So no one could tell us as adults that we're going to do something because they said so. We need more than that, than just because I said so, right? And so this interview that I watched, I saw this guy, he was talking about how as a child he wasn't able to express himself. And as children, our parents tell us to be quiet or, if we're crying, don't cry or I'm going to give you something to cry about. Well, I'm already crying, so there's nothing more that you can give me to make this happen because I'm already doing this, right? So I'm already crying. You already gave me something to cry about. What more could you give me to make me cry even more, right? But, they say those things, and it's because that was a learned behavior for them. And a lot of us being black, for us black people, that came from slavery because how dare you talk back, right? And so that translated into the way that our parents raised us because they were never able to establish these secure attachments to their parents given the circumstances that they were in. And then they had children and the same followed, So they don't know how to allow the children to express themselves because they were never able to express themselves. Okay, it's okay. I'll put the link to, and that way if you got time, you can go check it out on YouTube as well. But yeah, so they weren't able to express themselves, and so they're teaching their kids to suppress their feelings. And then now that they're older and they've, suppressed their feelings for so long, they don't know how to act when things come their way because they've been taught to suppress the way that they feel, right? And that's not healthy because when you become older, it creates other issues in the long run. When you run into conflict, you don't know how to handle it. So you're building up all of this tension, and then that tension turns into depression, or that tension turns into anxiety or whatever, hypertension, whatever you want to call it. But it creates mental illnesses in your kids. And you are at fault for it because you need to learn how to talk to / communicate with your kids. When I was in the military, my daughter was the worst. Ask everybody. My daughter came home with all kinds of bad colors, straight A's, but bad colors. Her behavior was completely off. And her behavior was completely off. Hi, Daniel. Hold on, Daniel's here, y'all. Thank you. Her behavior was completely off because I didn't communicate with her, right? By the time I got home from work, all I wanted to do was to go to sleep. Yeah. All I wanted to do was go to sleep, you know. And when she wanted to talk to me about something, I didn't want to talk, right? And the same, I learned that from my parents, as well as, you know, growing up and being able to establish the ability to commit to something. You know, you kill your kid's dream when they doing something and they really enjoy doing this thing, right? And then once they do this thing, you just get them, oh, that's cool, you know, but no big deal, but that's cool, right? You know, and so then they're like, man, why I'm going out of my way to continue to put in the effort to do this. She ain't even gonna look at it, right? Or he's not even gonna look at it. And so now you're killing their ability to commit to something, you know? So it's crazy, like everything that we do affects our children. And now you got us, the product of these failed parental skills. That's what I'm just gonna call it. The product of these trying to have families, you know. Now we're out here trying to have families, and we're in these families and don't know how to commit, you know. We're in these families and suffering from all types of insecurities and attachment issues because we didn't establish secure attachment with our parents, or our parents didn't establish secure attachments with us as children, you know. And so now we're up here trying to figure out life. We're trying to figure life out. And what happens is people turn to drugs and people turn to alcohol and they turn to, you know, a lot of people end up in toxic relationships because they can relate that toxicity to their parents. Oh, my mama did it, so it's okay. My daddy did it, so it's okay. It's not okay. You need to reform that way of thinking. Like you need to get rid of all that, okay? But we have to be able to communicate with our children because our children are becoming adults and they're suffering and they have no one to turn to, and they don't turn to you because you do not want to talk to them, you know? And so now you got your daughter off in a relationship, putting up with all kinds of bull crap from a toxic male whose parent made him toxic. You see what I'm saying? So you got her putting up with this because she's insecure because her parents, you know, didn't establish these attachments with her. So she's just trying to attach to anyone that would give her some attention. And then he's still broken from his parent, you know, doing whatever it is that they did to him. And now you got a broken person and a toxic person, both a broken person and an insecure person in a relationship, spewing out toxins, having a child throwing the toxins, and then reintroducing these behaviors to their offspring. You know, I hope y'all follow me because it's crazy. Like, I'm just trying to get it out, but it sounds ridiculous, but that's what it is. You know, or you have, you know, this woman who, you know, saw her mom always beating on dudes, you know, and her mom in these relationships with these weak dudes, and then now she's out here trying to actually abuse men, you know, abuse these men, right? You know, and I don't want to always talk about relationships because it's more than relationships. You go into the workspace. Daniel, you go into the workspace, and then guess what happens? You don't know how to deal with your boss because you were never taught to address your emotions, okay? And then a lot of us, single parents, and I don't want to, when I was a single parent, I was guilty of this, you know, so I don't want to put it off on all single parents because some of y'all are really doing a good job. But as a single parent, I was guilty of this same behavior. I will whoop my kid, you know. Every time she did something, I never talked to her about nothing. She just knows she's going to get her butt whooped, you know, because that's what I was taught, right? You know, as a single parent. And you out here creating these monsters for society, you know, because now they hate you as the black parent or as the parent. And when they get out into the world, they're like, I don't want nothing to do with nobody that reminds me of my mom. Or I don't want anything to do with anyone that reminds me of my dad. You see what I'm saying? So that's their way of rejecting their upbringing, you know? So, but like I said, some of y'all do a good job. And I had to learn that a lot of that stuff, a lot of that butt whipping stuff, it was ineffective. You know, at a certain point, it's just, they know they're going to get a whipping and that's it. You know, you need to start sitting down with your kids and talking to them about why they're behaving this way, you know. But it's so much, y'all, that we could unpack with this. Another thing that when we're talking about committing to something, we're so quick to commit to everything outside of ourselves, and we don't put any energy into committing to ourselves. So instead of creating a New Year's resolution, because I know everybody's going to create a New Year's resolution, and then by February the resolution is going to be, you know, over with. Instead of creating a New Year's resolution, create a New Year's lifestyle, something that you're gonna just continue past the new year, throughout the year, something that you can build on, okay? Because that's going to teach you how to commit once you start building on something. Every time Daniel play his Lingo Kids, he's like, it'd be so loud. But that's going to teach you how to commit to some things, okay? Hold on, let me turn his little thing down. But yeah, so commit to a New Year's lifestyle, not just a resolution, you know? And because the reason why I don't like New Year's resolutions are because New Year's resolutions give you an aim just for the new year, you know, what you're going to do for the new year. And it allows you to excuse all this other behavior, you know. It allows you to excuse all this other behavior during the year, right? Oh, I'll do it on the new year. Oh, I'll change my diet on the new year. Or I'll change my whatever on the new year. So that's the reason why I don't like New Year's resolutions. So if you're going to create a resolution, make sure it's a resolution for a lifestyle change, not just for the new year. Hey, y'all. I'm just about to wrap this up here in a minute. But yeah, so just talk to your kids. Learn how to communicate with them, okay? Because our kids are suffering. And then they get older and they don't know how to deal with this. And they feel like, and remove those stigmas away from them getting help. You guys telling them that crazy people get help. No, it's not crazy people. People with real issues get help. All right. That's why people go to church. People go to church so they can get help, like from their pastor. You know, people go to the doctor so they can get help for whatever illness that they have. Right. People go to the mechanic so that their car can get help. So why every time an object breaks, you can go to these businesses and fix these objects, but when you break, you can't fix yourself? Y'all get what I'm saying? You'll go to the dealership and you'll go to sorry, Daniel, you'll go to the auto shop, get your car fixed. You'll go to the nail shop and get your nails fixed, right? You'll go to all these places. You go to the beautician to get your hair fixed, right? But you won't go to the mental health doctor to get your mind fixed, right? That's crazy to me. That is so crazy. And they're cheaper than the auto parts shop. They're cheaper than the beautician. They're cheaper than the nail shop. But you'll go there and get fixed. But as soon as you run into some mental issues or some issues that you need to work on outside of yourself, you don't condone getting the help. You know, so stop putting that in our kids' head. If something's going on with them, tell them to talk to someone about it, someone they trust or someone that can professionally help them. Because these kids are growing up and they turning into the Juice WRLDs. You know, they're turning into the XXS testosterone. You know, our children are steps away from being them. Hey, oh. Okay, y'all. He just wanted to show his cuteness. He pulled me all the way down just so he can get on the camera, okay? But yeah, so talk to our kids, man. Talk to our kids. You don't have to go upside their head for everything. And I promise you, the way you raise your kids now, they're going to end up either taking care of you in the end, or they're going to abandon you in the end, you know? So these kids are the future of this world. And if you don't like the way the world is now, the way the world is now is our parents' fault, right? So the way the world is when we get old, it's our fault, okay? So just take that into consideration. I hope that a lot of this stuff made a lot of sense to you guys. I'll probably do another video without all the interruptions for my YouTube channel because, you know, I feel like everybody needs to understand the importance of being involved with their kids and understanding like their children's needs, you know, because it's bigger than just giving them a device and allowing them to hey Jazz, hey Netta. It's bigger than giving them a device and having them occupied, you know, as long as they're quiet, right? No, you want to actually engage with your children and it's going to pay off in their future. So that's pretty much it. I don't even know how long I've been on this day, you guys, but I am going to go ahead and let you guys enjoy your day. But again, this book, I'm going to figure out how to get it, you know, but it's called Let's Talk to Our Kids, and it's by Debbie King Mabry, and she got all these, you know, credentials and stuff. But yeah, I got this book 2 years ago, and I just decided that I was going to look at this book, you know, and I really looked at it because I had some homework assignments, but once I got into it, it became more than just homework for me. It became like, dang, we really need to do this with our kids, you know, because I know the difference between me not talking to Lacey and me talking to Lacey. Like, me not talking to Lacey, Lacey came home with bad colors every day. She was getting whoopings every day years ago. Now, she don't come home with no bad colors. You know, I might get a call from the nurse from something silly, but she don't come home with bad colors because we communicate. So communicate. And when you seeing something that your parents did raise up in you when you're dealing with your kids. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. When you're dealing with your kids, you need to get help for that. All right, go see somebody or check yourself. Do some self-checking because that ain't the way to go. All right, I'll talk to y'all later.